Greetings. I decided to do my final picks for the Massachusetts special election in video form. I realize at this point it's about late in the morning on election day, a little bit late, but I wanted to make sure there were no last-minute sudden shake-ups, a Torricelli maneuver to sub out Martha Coakley, or perhaps suddenly word would break that Martha Coakley had landed a plane in the Hudson or something like that. President Obama announcing we caught bin Laden or something. So, no, it looks like that things are basically shaping up. If you're looking for a good omen for Martha Coakley in the last couple of days, you really couldn't find any. The crowd in Boston seemed to really like him. It's just a shame that they were openly yawning about Martha Coakley. So, I went through, did some math, looked at the polls that I most respected, and kind of did some back of the envelope, how do I think those remaining undecideds are going to break. And here's what I came up with. For starters, obviously there's a third-party candidate in the race. I think Joe Kennedy is only going to finish with 1%. I just don't believe that third-party candidates really gain traction. Massachusetts has had some of them in the past, but I just think this is just not the year for this. There's just too much attention on the two major candidates. And oh, by the way, he's got some famous sons who went on to do great things, but I just don't think people are going to vote for Joe Kennedy. In Massachusetts, the dead can vote, but they can't be elected to office. Okay, I know it's not really that Joe Kennedy. Then the other major one, I looked at Martha Coakley. I was a little generous. I decided to look at the polls that I respected the most. They were a few days older than I liked. And I gave her 1% out of the remaining undecided and came up with Martha Coakley getting 47%. People who are good at math have already figured out the winner in this. Just a god-awful campaign that did next to nothing right. One gaffe after another. I'm surprised she didn't, come out and spit on Bill Belichick or something. That's maybe she's got a decent shot in New York at some point. But basically, didn't do much right, and just was not much going for her to begin with. Tough environment, and it just wasn't that good. So people who are good at math have already figured this out. Scott Brown, I think, is going to win with 52%. And like I said, this has really been on the safe side. I kind of think that just with the kind of information cascade we've seen in the last couple of days, that she looks like kind of a loser, can't seem to get out of her own way, calling Curt Schilling a Yankee fan, and kind of these last-minute desperation tactics of the rape flyer and this, that, and the other thing. She just doesn't look like the kind of candidate I think people will back. So my prediction is Brown gets most of the remaining undecideds. And if turnout turns out the way we expect, it may actually be a much larger one. A 10-point victory is not unthinkable. So those are my picks. I could be very wrong. I did some very quick ones in November of last year. I got the Virginia race right on the button. I was the guy saying that Chris Christie was going to win an election night and lose it in a recount in New Jersey. So I can be wrong, but I feel pretty good about this one. So anyway, at some point, I am sure if I am wrong, someone will throw this right back at me. See you later.